Hi you guys, I am super excited because we are doing our experiment for our science lesson 7, all about the wind. So yesterday you guys watched some videos about where wind comes from, and now we're gonna make tools of our own that measure the wind and tell us where the wind is coming from. So I sent out a couple of videos to help you make these tools, and then I'm going to show you how I made them because it's a little bit different because I didn't have the exact tools that they suggested in the video. So I just wanted to show you my anemometer. Now this little tool measures the speed of the wind, and so it's kind of droopy. Okay, so my cups are a little bit large, and so I had to take my straws and loop them together so that I had 2 straws going across and 2 straws crossing. So basically I took 2 straws and turned them into one very long straw so that it would fit the cups because they're so much bigger. And so I just poked 2 holes. I didn't have a hole puncher, and so I just took a thumbtack and I just poked 2 holes in the cup, and then I took my scissors and kind of went through the hole that I made with the thumbtack and like twisted it around to make a bigger hole. So that's what I did, and then I had to kind of tape it because they're bendy straws and so they're kind of bending, so I had to tape it. But then you put the thumbtack through the straws, and then the thumbtack sits on the eraser of a pencil so that you have a fixated point so that the wind will catch in the cups and spin. So that's how it spins, is the thumbtack on the eraser. So that part is important. So yeah, I did follow the video instructions, so you guys do that as well. But know that if you don't have the exact materials, just do your best. So yeah, this is the end result. So you're gonna take this, and if you flip the page, in your science binder, your wind experiment, so these little, I'm gonna set this down somewhere. There we go. These are QR codes. So you probably know how to use these by now because they kind of popped up a little bit in our science binder. But you take a phone or a tablet and you open up the camera app and you hover over the QR code and a link will pop up. You just click on the link and that will take you to the video or the website, whatever the QR code represents. And so this will show you how to build the anemometer, this little cup thing, and then you're gonna take this is part of the experiment, on this paper that says, "What's the wind like today?" So you're gonna choose 3 areas outside, of course, and so maybe in your front yard, in your backyard, by the garage, the side of your house. Maybe you go on a walk and you go down the street. So you're gonna pick 3 locations, and then you're gonna take your anemometer that you made and you are just gonna hold it out. Remember, you're holding it by the pencil. That's your fixated point, so that the wind will just push this where it needs to go. Actually, it's gonna, oh wait, no, it'll go that way. I guess it depends on where the wind is coming from. So as it's spinning, you are going to, in each location, you are going to time the spins for 1 minute. So you're gonna have to, like, I would put like a sticky note or a sticker on one of the cups to make it stand out. So then you can kind of like watch it and have a timer. So you can watch it, okay, it's come around once, that's one spin, and twice. And then you're just gonna see, maybe it goes really fast, maybe it goes really slow. You're gonna count how many spins happens in 1 minute and write that down for each location. And then I think that's all. So then you have to convert it into mph, which is miles per hour. And on the paper it says 10 turns per minute means the wind speed is about 1 mile per hour. So if you are counting and in that minute there are 10 spins, you're going to say, okay, that 10 spins is equal to 1 mile an hour, and that's what you'll write right here. Okay, so that's for the anemometer. Now for the weather vane, again, to build the weather vane, you can just hover, it has a QR code, you just hover the camera over it, a link will pop up, and it'll show you how to do the weather vane. Now, I would follow along to this video for sure, but know that you do not have to do it exactly like the person on the video did. In fact, he says to use thin wire, glass, and he means like a glass cup, and rock salt. You only need the glass and the rock salt to hold it in place, so don't worry about that. And then the thin wire is just to shape the north, south, east, and west on your weather vane. So you don't need to worry about that either. I'll show you what I did because I didn't have thin wire. And so here is the weather vane that I made. Now a weather vane tells us what direction the wind is coming from. So instead of using a thin wire, I just took a piece of thick paper, something sturdy. I just cut it out into a circle. You don't necessarily need to do that, but I thought it would look more like a compass that way. And then I just labeled it N for north, S, south, east, and west. Make sure you have those in the right order. And then since it's a thicker paper, I'm gonna slide it onto my pencil, and it should just stay in place because it's very sturdy. Okay, so that takes care of that. Don't need to worry about the tape, don't need to worry about the wire. I have my compass. And then as far as the actual moving pieces, I took a straw and I colored one of the ends gold, if you can see. And this is the important point, not this point. And so sometimes that gets confusing. But then I took my straw, I didn't pin it in yet, so maybe I'll take it out. I cut out this little trapezoid piece of paper, again pretty thick paper, and then I just taped it onto the straw. I cut the straw first though, like the guy did in the video, where you just take your scissors, I don't know where my scissors went, you just take your scissors and make 2 slits so that you can put the paper and just kind of snug it on in there so it's nice and snug. And then I just taped across the top just to keep it secure. I taped it instead of gluing it like the guy did in the video. So definitely follow the guy as far as the straw and paper instructions go. And then I took a pin, like if you're sewing, and you stick it through the straw only about a couple inches away from your little flap, the paper, and then stick it into the eraser. So again, you have your fixated point, and then the wind is going to catch this part of the weather vane because there's more surface area here, and so it's going to push it. And then this gold part points to where the wind is coming from. So that is really important to make note of. So the reason why you have this, the compass part, you're gonna take it for the experiment. You're gonna go outside. You have so many things happening. You'll go outside to those 3 locations again, and you are going to figure out the direction of the wind. So you'll need a compass to make sure that you're lined up, or if you go with like an older sibling or a parent and they know which way is north, then just point your compass so it is pointing towards north. Or a lot of times people have the compass app on their phone, and so you just take out that app, find north, and then make sure that the N on your paper is pointing north, and then you just stand there. So here I'm pointing north, and then the wind is gonna catch this area like I said. So if I were the wind, oh, that was good. Okay, if I'm blowing, now see how it's pointed towards me? It pointed to me because the wind is coming from me. So that's how it works. So when you do this, you're not going to say, oh, the little flappy part is on north, so the wind is coming from the north. No, 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 no. It is coming from where the gold part is pointing to. It's coming from the south. Okay, so that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So again, you'll just hold it up and spend some time just letting it kind of figure out the wind, because the wind might not be strong, it might be strong, I don't know. So just kind of let it figure itself out, and then point to, or write down where it's pointing to, or excuse me, where it's coming from. So it's pointing to, the gold point is pointing to where the wind is coming from. This part is just being moved by the wind. Okay? And then for the Beaufort wind scale, you are just going to use the description in your binder. Okay? Use the description to figure out what number on the scale each of those locations would be. The scale starts at 0 and goes all the way to 12. Definitely not going to be a 12, a hurricane. Probably not going to be a violent storm or a storm. But yeah, just look at the descriptions. Look about the appearance of wind effects. So on a tree, the tree is still at a level 0 and 1. At a level 2, the leaves are rustling a little bit. At a level 3, the leaves and small twigs move. So you just kind of have to observe those locations and then figure out what you would say each location is on the Beaufort wind scale. So yeah, and then you'll do the reflection on the back. So that is it for lesson 7. Again, follow the directions on the YouTube videos that I sent you, but know that if you need to be flexible and do things your own way, that's totally groovy. You are welcome to do that, as long as it still makes sense and it still works. So like for this little compass thing, maybe I'm gonna put something like tape around the pencil so it has something to sit on, just because it's starting to get a little bit loose, so I want it to be able to sit and stay sturdy. You can see it's falling. So yeah, that's my weather vane and my anemometer. I hope you guys have a good time exploring those 3 different locations and measuring the wind. Let me know if you need anything, but you are going to be great. If you absolutely do not have like any of these supplies or anything that will even work for it, then just deep breath, totally okay. Just do your best, do the wind scale portion for sure by following that wind scale and the description. That you can definitely do. I even thought about for the anemometer, I thought about doing Easter eggs because it was just Easter. And so I found Easter eggs in the closet and I was like, oh, I could just use that. And maybe just tape the straw or the stick or whatever you have to the top of the Easter egg. So then that would catch, so that would be pretty cute. But then I found these cups, so that would work too. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Let me know how it goes. Love your guts, bye.